In this video, I'll show you how user management and role-based access control work inside AI Foundry, and how they make governance of your GenAI projects easier. When scaling GenAI beyond a pilot, access control becomes a governance challenge. For example, you need to define who can deploy new models, who can access production data, which teams can call which APIs, the cost of that usage, and address many other questions and scenarios. AI Foundry helps simplify all of this by providing multi-level role-based access control, centralized identity management, and enterprise-grade security controls, so you can scale GenAI safely across teams, projects, and business units. reduces security and compliance risks through least privilege access for users, keeps operations organized with a clear separation of duties between infrastructure, DevOps, data science, and business teams, and makes audits and governance simpler with centralized policy enforcement and logging. Let's see how it works. First, log into your AI Foundry dashboard. From here, click on your profile and navigate to the User Management module. Currently, I'm logged in as a super admin, so I can manage different roles, permissions, and access policies across the platform. AI Foundry's role-based access control is structured in multiple layers that align with how enterprises operate, ensuring the right people have access to the right GenAI assets, whether models, datasets, evaluations, routes, or APIs. At the top of the hierarchy is the super admin. This role sets the global guardrails for your organization, deciding things like which identity providers are connected, which regions or clusters can be used, what the default roles are, and who has permission to manage infrastructure, models, evaluations, and APIs. Just below the super admin are specialized admin users. Super admins can create these admins with module-specific access, allowing you to delegate responsibilities. For example, one admin might manage clusters and runtime environments, another could handle model onboarding and versioning, and a third might oversee benchmarks and evaluations. Let's go ahead and create an admin user. First, click on Add User, then enter the user's name and email address. Next, assign a role, such as admin, developer, tester, or DevOps. Each role comes with predefined permissions aligned to common enterprise responsibilities, but you can customize them further to match your internal policies. After that, choose the user type. For this example, I'll select Admin. Selecting Admin unlocks additional granular settings. Here you can decide for each module whether this admin has view-only access or full management permissions, including creating, updating, or deleting resources. You can configure this across areas like model and cluster management, user and project management, benchmark and evaluation management, routes, agents, orchestration flows, and any other core components you've enabled. Once the user is added, an invitation email is sent automatically, and they can sign in with the exact access you've defined. At any time, you can open a user's profile and adjust their permissions, ideal for role changes, internal movements, or offboarding. Apart from granting task-based access, you can also assign project or team-level access to admins. To do this, go to the Projects module, where you may have projects created for different departments or specific tasks within your organization. From here, you can also group users into business or technical teams and grant access to specific models or agents. For example, this project, created specifically for the sales team, contains models and agents tailored to sales use cases. You can now grant access to the specific admins and users you want to add to the sales project, choosing either view or manage permissions. For example, within the sales project, sales leadership might have access to usage dashboards and cost views, while sales reps use only chat-based co-pilots for prospecting or proposal creation, and a dedicated technical admin manages prompt configurations and routing. Role-based access control in AI Foundry goes all the way down to the API layer, which becomes especially important when you start embedding GenAI into real applications. You can do this from the API Keys tab. Here, you can create new keys for specific projects, set expiration dates, and add budget limits. Moreover, from the Projects module, the platform lets you control, for each deployed model or route, who can generate API keys, which applications may call specific endpoints, and how to apply rate limits, quotas, and cost controls, whether per key or per client. APIs themselves can be marked as internal or public. Internal APIs are restricted to trusted services and teams, while public APIs can be opened up to application teams across the platform, or even to external customers, depending on how you configure them. The result is a system where experimental endpoints remain safely internal, production endpoints are tightly governed, and every call can be traced back to a specific team, project, and user for both auditing and chargeback. Under super admin and specialized admin roles, we have clients as a distinct user type. Clients are the end consumers of the models and agents you deploy. They can be external developers who want to access your model and agent deployments, or internal developers or even non-technical people. For developers, 𝗏𝗏 AI Foundry provides an OpenAI-style developer dashboard. From here, developers can discover available models and agents, create and manage their own APIs on top of approved models, configure routing, prompt templates, and evaluation hooks, monitor usage, latency, and performance. Finally, non-technical users like sales reps and legal executives can access the models and agents via the chat interface embedded with the internal tools, or via the 𝗏𝗏 Playground, where they can safely experiment with pre-approved assistants and workflows. Under the hood, 𝗏𝗏 AI Foundry is built on a centralized identity and access management system with single sign-on. Users authenticate once through their enterprise identity provider and can immediately access all modules they're authorized for without managing separate credentials. Centralized IAM and lifecycle management allow teams to quickly provision or deprovision users and roles, reduce operational overhead, and use a single control plane to enforce and review access policies across all GenAI workloads. The platform includes ready-made integrations for common enterprise identity systems and support standards such as OpenID Connect, OAuth, and SAML. It connects to directories like LDAP or Microsoft Active Directory through user federation, keeping users, groups, and attributes synced with existing directory services. It also supports identity brokering for third-party providers including Okta, Azure AD, Google Workspace, and other OIDC or SAML-based systems. This flexibility lets you integrate 𝗏𝗏 AI Foundry with both modern and legacy applications, use your existing SSO environment, apply existing security and governance policies to GenAI access, and avoid managing a separate account system. On the security side, 𝗏𝗏 AI Foundry includes strong protections by default. It offers multi-factor authentication, strict password policies, brute force attack detection, secure token handling with signed JWT, and fine-grained access controls. Detailed audit logs ensure every important action, whether deploying a model, creating an API key, or changing permissions, is fully traceable. Together, these controls help organizations meet regulatory requirements, as well as their own internal security and compliance standards. That's a quick overview of how user management and role-based access control work in 𝗏𝗏 AI Foundry. With granular permissions, flexible roles, and detailed usage insights, you can confidently manage access across teams, projects, and clients. This ensures secure, compliant, and efficient GenAI operations at scale.